Hey Ridezone Bikes family, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a long, deep look at one of the most enduring and unique motorcycles in Yamaha's lineup, the 2026 TW200. This is not a brand new name for Yamaha. In fact, the TW200 has been around for decades, and it's one of those bikes that's developed a cult following among riders who value reliability, approachability, and a go-anywhere attitude over cutting-edge horsepower or flashy electronics. In a market where many bikes are competing to be the most powerful, the most high-tech, or the most aggressive, the TW200 stands out by being simple, durable, and incredibly fun. And in 2026, Yamaha continues that legacy with only subtle refinements because, truth be told, when you get a formula right, you don't need to change it too much. So let's start with what powers this quirky little dual sport. At the heart of the TW200 is a 196cc air-cooled, single-cylinder, SOC 2-valve engine. It's a small, sturdy thumper with a bore and stroke of 67 by 55.7 mm and a compression ratio of 9.5 to 1. Fuel delivery is handled by a carburetor, staying true to the bike's old-school roots, and ignition is CDI. The engine isn't about massive horsepower figures but about usable torque right where you need it most, down low and in the mid-range. This makes the bike incredibly forgiving for new riders while also being useful for experienced ones who want a light, go-anywhere companion. Yamaha has equipped it with an automatic cam chain tensioner to keep things simple in the maintenance department, and the inclusion of an engine counterbalancer reduces vibrations that would otherwise wear you down on longer rides. Pair this with a 5-speed transmission that shifts smoothly and predictably, and you've got a bike that just works, whether you're climbing a gravel hill or cruising through town. Now, what about performance? This is where expectations matter. If you're coming into the TW200 thinking it will blast down highways at 90 miles per hour or conquer extreme motocross tracks, you'll be disappointed. That's not what this machine is for. Instead, it's designed to be versatile, approachable, and capable in a wide range of everyday and light adventure scenarios. On pavement, it's comfortable up to about 55 or 60 miles per hour. It can hit highway speeds if you push it, but it's not where the bike is happiest. Where the TW200 shines is in the in-between spaces: country roads, backwoods trails, sandy patches, forest service roads, and even city streets. The wide tires give it a stability you don't find on many bikes in this size, and the manageable weight of just 278 pounds wet means maneuvering it is easy. For beginners, this is a dream. It's a bike that won't intimidate you, won't buck you off, and won't punish mistakes harshly. Fuel economy is excellent. Yamaha estimates around 78 miles per gallon, which means the small tank still gives you good range. With today's gas prices, that's a huge plus. The bike also doesn't guzzle oil, doesn't demand constant maintenance, and the air-cooled design means fewer parts to worry about compared to liquid-cooled, high-strung machines. Seat height is a very approachable 31.1 inches. For a dual sport, that's low. Many dual sports have seats so tall that riders under 5'9" struggle to plant their feet. Not so with the TW200A. Even shorter riders can comfortably get both feet on the ground, which makes stopping and starting far less stressful, especially off-road where terrain can be unpredictable. Let's talk suspension and handling. The front end uses telescopic forks with 6.3 inches of travel, and the rear has a single shock with 5.9 inches of travel. While those numbers aren't massive by dirt bike standards, they're perfectly suited for the kind of light off-road and mixed surface use the TW200 is designed for. The suspension soaks up bumps, rocks, and potholes without being too stiff on the street. Ground clearance is a respectable 10.4 inches, so you won't be smashing into rocks or roots unless you're really pushing it. The braking system is straightforward. A hydraulic front disc at 220 mm provides the main stopping power, while the rear uses a 110 mm drum brake. Some might wish for a rear disc, but the drum is simple, reliable, and more than adequate for a bike of this size and speed. Now, let's get to the part of the TW200 that everyone notices first: the tires. These are not your standard dual sport tires. Up front, you've got a chunky 130/80/18, and at the rear, an absolutely massive 180/80/14. These fat tires are the TW200's calling card. They give the bike its squat, ATV-like look, but they're not just about style. They provide extra flotation in sand, snow, mud, and soft dirt, making the TW200 feel almost unstoppable in terrain that would swallow a thinner-tired machine. They also add comfort, acting almost like an extra layer of suspension by cushioning impacts. Riding on these tires feels unique, like you're on a two-wheeled tank that just keeps plowing forward. It's a key reason why the TW200 has such a cult following among adventurers, campers, and even farmers who use it as a tool around their property. The design of the bike overall is simple, rugged, and utilitarian. It doesn't have the aggressive edges or futuristic panels of some modern dual sports, but that's part of its charm. The frame is compact and sturdy, the seat is long and flat, and the fenders are designed to keep mud and debris at bay. Lighting is traditional halogen rather than LED, but the headlight is bright enough for most needs, and the turn signals are flex-mounted to survive the occasional drop. The instrument cluster is basic, giving you speed, trip, and neutral indicators, but nothing more. Again, this is not a tech-heavy bike, and for many riders that's exactly the appeal. Fewer distractions, fewer things to break, and more focus on the ride itself. Price is one of the TW200's strongest points. For 2026, Yamaha lists it at just $4,999 in the US, before fees and taxes. That makes it one of the most affordable dual-sport motorcycles you can buy brand new. When you compare that to many modern adventure bikes that start at 3 times the price, the TW200 looks like a bargain. And because it's been around for so long, aftermarket support is plentiful, and parts availability is excellent. You can easily find racks, larger tanks, luggage solutions, and protective accessories to outfit the bike for extended adventures. So, what makes the TW200 stand out as a unique offering in the crowded motorcycle world? First, its fat tires are unmatched in this category, giving it a look and performance profile that no competitor really replicates. Second, its low seat height and manageable weight make it one of the most beginner-friendly dual sports available, while still being useful for experienced riders who just want a fun, reliable machine. Third, its simplicity makes it easy to maintain and hard to kill. It's a bike that doesn't need constant fussing and will likely outlast many of the flashier machines if properly cared for. Fourth, its versatility is second to none. It's just as comfortable commuting in the city as it is exploring a forest trail or crawling over sandy dunes. And finally, it's affordable, both to buy and to own, making it accessible to a wide range of riders. Of course, it's not without limitations. The TW200 is not a highway cruiser. If your commute involves long stretches of interstate, you'll find yourself pushing the little single-cylinder harder than is ideal. It also doesn't have modern rider aids like ABS, traction control, or ride modes, so what you get is raw and analog. But for many riders, that's part of the appeal. It's pure motorcycling without the layers of software in between you and the road. In summary, the 2026 Yamaha TW200 is a motorcycle that embraces its identity fully. It's quirky, practical, fun, and affordable. It's a bike that invites beginners to join the world of dual sports while still offering seasoned riders a dependable second machine for light adventures, camping trips, or just plain fun. It doesn't pretend to be a high-performance rocket, but what it does promise, it delivers in spades. A reliable, versatile, approachable motorcycle that can handle just about anything you throw at it. With its low price, iconic fat tires, approachable ergonomics, and legendary reliability, the TW200 remains one of Yamaha's most charming and useful offerings. If you've ever wanted a bike that could do it all while never overwhelming you, the 2026 Yamaha TW200 deserves a serious look.